All right, Nick, talk about Greg Urbis, head coach, St. Edward, one of your mentors and someone you really look up to.
He's a big part of my life, all through high school and even through college and going back here and there. I used to work out there all the time afterwards when I was at Kent State, or even when I was in the WWE if I was home. He's constantly there. He's constantly there for everybody. He's a huge mentor in my life with wrestling and life, and going on to college and life after wrestling. He's there probably 23 or 24 hours a day at St. Edward, helping someone out, keeping the weight room open, running a camp, doing something to help someone out. He's awesome. I can't say enough good things about him, and that school owes him a lot. He would never admit it, but he's done so much for that program, for St. Ed's school in general, and just bringing a good name to everyone.
All right, another guy who coached you. Talk about how he really helped you get kind of a foot in the door with the WWE, Coach Tadaki Hata.
Coach Hata told me, I told him I was very interested in wrestling. I was in professional wrestling, probably my freshman year at St. Edward, where he was coaching with us. I think he had just finished coaching on the women's Olympic team and kind of came back to St. Ed's to help coach us. And I kind of kept in his ear about always wanting to be a professional wrestler, and he said, do as well as you can in high school and college, and maybe one day I'll get to be able to shake hands with someone backstage, or at least go to a show or something like that. And then one day that actually happened, where we got some tickets left for us by Joe Briscoe, who wrestled for Oklahoma State, and with Tadaki Hata, and it got my foot in the door, got me a handshake with a few different people backstage, and they said maybe one day we'll call you. And the next day, I was told I was coming out to Louisville for a 5-day tryout at Ohio Valley Wrestling, and I actually went on my tryout about a week later with Bobby Lashley. We went the same week for our tryouts. They hired him. A week afterwards, I was told I needed to get a lot bigger. So, and they told me maybe 6 months later they had another open tryout that I would be invited to if I could put on some weight, because I was about 170 pounds at the time. And maybe 2 weeks before the open tryout, they asked me to come back for a 2-week tryout with a couple different people, which was one was an XFL football player and one was Big John Studd's son. And we actually ended up having a tryout with Lance Storm, who had just taken over the training at Ohio Valley Wrestling. And I was told I picked everything up pretty fast, very professional about everything, and a couple weeks later I was offered a job with World Wrestling Entertainment.
Okay, Coach Hata wrestled at Oklahoma State, Briscoe, Oklahoma State guy. You would say Coach Hata is definitely, he's the guy, he's kind of got ins. He's our head women's coach for the Olympic team this year.
Oh, awesome.
So, yeah, I'm sure you probably didn't know that because you follow WWE, but what would you say he helped you out with amateur wrestling-wise?
Oh, he was a huge... He helps not just me, our entire St. Ed's or whoever he would coach off and on. He helped everybody out with like a different... I guess maybe like a different viewpoint on things and different strategies here and there, or different techniques that he's learned from the past that a lot of other coaches... it's just a lot of... It's hard to explain, but just he sees things from different angles, different viewpoints, and it's very helpful.
Okay. Nick, what do you think, obviously the future holds, but how long do you see yourself projected being involved with after maybe this? Do you see yourself maybe going back to amateur wrestling?
I don't see myself going back to amateur wrestling. I enjoy professional wrestling. It's my life. I love it. I know sometimes, life changes things for you. I might not be around for 20 years doing this. I'd be very happy with maybe 8 to 10 more years here. Possibly going out on my own, doing some different things. But I have a college education. I've actually taken a couple courses towards my master's degree online. So I have a few plans in my back pocket, but of course I'd love to do this as long as I wanted to and as long as I was healthy.
Okay. Well, what does the people say, he's gotten bigger, he must be on steroids? Okay, this is not an easy question, but, talk about how stringent they test you guys and make sure that you're not on controlled substances?
We've had a couple incidents in the past which have led to. We used to have a drug testing policy that was always in place, and it's become extremely strenuous over the last maybe year or two. We have the same company and facility, I believe, that tests the NFL, Major League Baseball. It's a very, very in-depth test. We are constantly tested, and it's beneficial for everyone, for the company that's a public traded company, for all the wrestlers, for their health and safety involved, and it's much better for everyone. It's pretty intense, but it's for the best for everybody.
All right, Nick, thanks for the inside scoop there, man. I appreciate it.
No problem.
I'm here with four-time Division I NCAA qualifier Nick Nemeth. Nick, how's it going today?
It's going all right.
It's going all right. All right, Nick. You're now a certified WWE superstar. Got the action figure. Talk about the road from West Park, west side of Cleveland, to getting to becoming a WWE superstar. So,
let's see. I first started training for collegiate or amateur wrestling when I was 5 years old. One night a week, and on Friday nights. I actually remember when I first got there the first day. I signed up for wrestling, and there was no ring ropes or turnbuckles, so I was kind of disappointed. That's where I started wrestling. I loved it ever since. I wrestled in St. Pat's in West Park, St. Ed's High School, and Kent State College.
Kent State College or Kent State University?
I'll check my credit card. I think it's Kent State University.
Talk about that. Get us through. You started at St. Patrick's.
I started at St. Pat's. That was an intramural thing, one night a week.
Like a CYO type thing?
Yeah, so you got to 3rd or 4th grade. Then you can actually join the regular team, where it was every Sunday you had dual meets, and that was 6 nights a week, I think, something like that, 5 nights a week. Then when I went to St. Ed's.
How did you get to, what was the catch line for St. Ed's? Why did you go there?
My parents told me that if I got all A's and B's for a semester, I could transfer out and go to Holy Name with all my friends, which is a co-ed Catholic school. So first semester came, got all A's and B's, and they told me it was a big joke and a lie.
So they made you had to stay all boys school, St. Ed's.
Yeah. So, but I couldn't be happier that I did, because their wrestling team kicks ass. So, and I probably wouldn't be here without the training and conditioning I got at St. Ed's.
Okay. Talk about freshman through junior year. Did you ever make the varsity at that point?
St. Ed's?
Yeah.
Wrestled on our green team, which is like a second team varsity. We had like 5 or 6 levels of teams there. Freshman, JV, green, white, and gold, I think.
Gold's the team that wins nationals year in and year out.
Team, yeah, and the green team wrestles a varsity schedule, but usually in Southern Ohio or against different teams. Not really sure.
Okay.
Freshman year, I wrestled on the freshman team and on the JV team. And sophomore through junior year, I think I was 125 on the green team and the JV team. Sometimes I wrestled both. Green team a lot. It's the second team varsity, and then I think the only time I wrestled in goal was one match my junior year, 1 or 2 matches, and then my senior year.
Okay. Senior year, considered one of the greatest teams still in high school history. You had 2-time NCAA champ Ryan Bertine, a couple weights below you. You had current one of the top 155 punters, Gray Maynard, multiple-time All-American Andy Rovat, world team member. Talk about that room and the competition level in there.
That room was that was awesome. I didn't realize how good of a team the way you just said it now.
Mark Jane,
yeah, there was
Mason Leonard, Mark Jane, multiple-time All-American. So you had all those guys on your team. You guys are 1998 national champs. Talk about the competition level.
Competition level was pretty intense in there every day on a normal year. That year was that was awesome, and we just constantly wanted to be. We didn't think best team, I don't know, in 20 years or whatever in our heads, but we wanted to break records, and we wanted to get the most individual state champs and break records points-wise, and I think we were a little disappointed because we didn't. We wanted to break the record, which I think was 5, and I think maybe we tied it for state champs or something.
How'd you do in
the tense room?
How'd you do individually?
I took 5th. I blew some kind of match in the semis that was like to the eventual champ, which was one of those twin guys. What's his name?
Icaboni?
Yeah, I lost like 9-7 to him in the semis. It kind of sucked. Actually, I guess that would have been the one that would have broke the record if we would have had all 6. So that kind of blows, but it was a pretty intense team. That was awesome wrestling for them. We never didn't have like an intense day in that room one way or another. There's a lot of awesome guys. You just pointed out. I forgot.
Okay. Compare your college room to your high school room. Workout partner-wise.
Workout partner-wise. In college, man, I had Mike McIntyre for a couple of years, who ended up not hanging out to finish the full term of wrestling. But it's a lot different in college. Obviously, Ed's was the closest room I've ever been to a college room, and actually sometimes the competition was a little bit more intense at St. Ed's. But that's because it's one of best wrestling teams always. So that's not a big deal. But Kent was fun, but it was also tough, and I like to have fun too. So I didn't drain myself mentally too much, but physically it did, of course.
Okay. Talk about how amateur wrestling, compare it to the current wrestling you're doing now with the WWE, and what's the current league you're in now with Florida?
Florida Championship Wrestling, which is the only developmental wrestling company associated with World Wrestling Entertainment. It's somewhat of like a AAA to baseball, I guess.
Okay.
And training there, it's a little bit different. There's a lot of psychology and different things involved. But the physical aspects, we're in Florida, so it's actually about 100 degrees in the room. We have a couple different rings, and it gets intense in there too. Everybody wants to be the next champ or next guy called up, so it gets intense in there. And practices lean towards drills and learning with maybe 1/3 of the time, set to pushing yourself and being ready to go to be able to wrestle maybe a 30 or 60-minute match.
Okay. What would you say, compare this wrestling you're doing now, okay, the performance, entertainment wrestling, compare it to amateur wrestling. What would you say is more difficult? Compare a season to 6 months of on the road.
Of course, there's no, some people might have to cut weight, but I diet pretty good and work out all the time, and I enjoy eating a lot too, but I do miss the cutting the weight. I don't miss cutting weight.
I was going to say you do miss it?
Way shredded, you get pretty shredded, but I can do that on my own now. I hated cutting weight, and that was the only part that wasn't fun about it. Here, it's hard to get workouts in sometimes if you had a long day at work or something like that, but you just put yourself to do it, and when you do, it pays off, and you look better than everybody else. So.
All right. Nick, thanks for your time, and we will be catching up with you hopefully sometime in the next year if you have a show in the Northeast Ohio region, all right?